Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom! Boom. I ask you, do you see me? Do you hear me? That is my question to you. And I say, boom. I hope this is in copyright. Hey, I got in the bottom, you got the little emoji over here. That's copyright over there. Nobody there using that image for me, man. Please, everybody vote. Everybody vote. See and hear. Here. Thank you for being here, man. You see, since I started in this new channel, the Jose JG Boom channel, I haven't used the classic intro, my intro, the ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and all that stuff. I got to come up with a new one. But for right now, we good. There's a poll up on screen. There are 17 votes. 28 minutes ago, I posted a poll, and there are 18 votes. Please vote now. This, I'm just saying, might persuade you. This might persuade you. I'm just saying, it's a great possibility that this is what you needed for a nice boom. There are new rules on the Daily Boom over here in this channel. No personal attacks, troll responsibly, and swear accordingly. So remember that. I encourage you to troll responsibly and swear accordingly. So, fuck the people that say we cannot type fuck or asshole or all the good stuff. A cunt here and there doesn't hurt too much. Just try not to like blast the chat box with just swearing words just because you can, right? That's why I say swear accordingly. Please like or dislike this stream. I'd rather you hit like, because if you hit dislike, it's just like lost. So please like the stream. Also, share the show and subscribe if you haven't done so. I am in the Daily Boom Discord server, but right now we should have, let's see. Yeah, we should be there. I'm still setting up. Let me do a quick setting over here because I haven't unmuted the PC over there. So give me a few seconds. There you go. We should be good. What's up? What's up?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How's it going, Gary?
Hey, Gary. Who are you? Gary boy? Oh, farmer's boy. Damn it.
I couldn't make my mind up, so I just left it alone.
Do you want to be Gary boy? Just
No,
for this server only. Come on, come on.
go on then. Yeah, why not? Well, I
Okay.
can change it myself, can't I?
You can, but I got you. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. Gary boy.
There you go. Hey,
Thank you very much.
I know.
Oh dear.
I thought about a kind of a setting looks. So I'm gonna have the Google Meets is taking the majority of the screen on for streaming on YouTube. If I got a screen share, it's gonna be easier for people to, I mean, for YouTube to see like better quality. It's probably gonna be memes and some random pictures. If there's anything that I need you guys to see in real time, we'll figure it out and I'll share it also on the Discord, you know. But for right now, it's just to have a viewing on YouTube so I can put some memes and I got my camera on or whatever for a little bit.
Yeah.
But over here, we still got the logos of the people on Discord. I don't know if he's gonna capture everybody that joined in Discord, but for right now, yeah, we got 4 participants. 2 are my accounts. Then Gary Boy and Mr. Mabrord. Oh, we gotta throw Gary in there somewhere. So why is Gary? Why is this Gary? Anybody want to tell me where this Gary come from?
As far as I can make out, somebody thinks that Anamorphic Mind's name is Gary. So
Right,
every time this individual speaks to him, he calls him Gary.
right, and it's just a random name. Like if I start calling you Julio, hey Julio, instead of calling you Farmer's Boy, Julio this and Julio that. Who the fuck is Julio? Well, everybody is Julio now. So yeah, there was a certain person calling somebody else Gary when that person's name might or might not be Gary. But why to call Farmer's Boy Julio when his name is Farmer's Boy? That's the name he uses here on YouTube. I mean, it's no need for confusion and call different names. So because that person kept calling this person Gary, then we are all Garys. There you go. We are in the Discord server. Bunch of us we just throw add in the name of Gary just to fuck around, you know.
that was all getting very strange yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's bizarre because this person is convinced that his name is Gary, yet this is from a server whose members are supposedly dead against doxing people.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I put my hands
So
up.
I don't understand that whatsoever. I mean, you know, I've been Farmer's Boy on the internet since the late 90s. You know, that's my handle, and we all tend to go by whatever handle we've given ourselves. And
Well,
no, somebody's convinced that Anamorphic Mind's name is Gary. Now, whether it is or it isn't, I don't know, and I don't give a shit. But it's just so funny that every time he talks to him, he calls him Gary, and it's like, do you even know his name's Gary? You know?
Zebulon 181 say, me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Simon and Garfunkel. Can't tell you the album.
Okay. All right. So, my lord, what's up, man? Oh, he doesn't have audio.
Oh, here we go.
There he goes.
It needs a push to talk. I was just saying it's Paul Simon alone, not with Garfunkel.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't realise it.
Nice. Guys, gotta tell me how the setup looks. I mean, I'm not telling you if I look good on camera. How the setup looks. If we get, let me put an image up, so people get the idea on how well it looks. So I'll put an image up, and you tell me how is the settings. If we get the ratio of the viewing on YouTube experience, will it be cool like this? You know, to have just an image and screen, and then you know, I think it's good. Yeah.
Is Discord only push to talk now, or voice to talk?
You can do voice activated.
Yeah, I've got it on voice activate.
Yeah. Yes, you can do that. There are 23 people watching. Very good. Yeah, it looks really clean because I seen streams and I seen other shows and I look at him. When I look at him in the screen, they look really cluttered. It's a lot of clutterness.
Yes.
A lot of scrolling letters and scrolling and moving shit around and a lot of logos and dancing little bullshit, which it might happen 5% during my whole shows because I might be sharing something off, something weird, and it's just moving around. But as for cleanliness, it's good. We got the little bit of Discord logos in one side, and then we got the screenshot in the middle. We got the little YouTube count views, and then a big PayPal link in the top. Yeah, that is kind of just neat. I like it.
Yeah.
I remember I had a lot of criticism before because I said, look at that, Jose, you don't even know what they're looking at. That was Unirock criticizing me once because he said it was a clutter on my streams, that it was a lot of stuff and a lot of dancing stuff and a lot of moving. I said, like, what the fuck is he going on about, you know? It was never like that, you know? One or two times I did kind of added little more things, like little astronauts moving around or bullshit, but it was a handful of times. It's not my style to have a lot of clutter.
If you make it too messy, it tends to. It reminds me of the early days of the interwebs when you went onto a website and just the front page of a website took ages to load because we didn't have broadband back then, and there was animations and everything was different bloody colours, and maybe that's where QE gets the ideas for his little crib sheets got for, because it was awful fonts and it was bright colours and it was little animated things going on everywhere and it was just a fucking mess and you didn't know where to start and where to look, and you don't want that. If I go to a web page or anything now, I want it nice and clear and easy to follow, and I want to see where I'm going. And yeah, I think your layout follows that convention. It's neat and it's tidy and there's not all this bollocks going on, silly little animations and things, you know.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
QE is like when you give an 8th grader and you say you need a 5-page report and they keep changing fonts to fill up those 5 pages.
Yes. Yes, and then everything starts to get double spaced and spread out, and yeah, we all know those old tricks that kids use.
Nice. Hey, I got a few pictures I want to share. Today, earlier, I say I am missing something for a full, like probably for a whole year, or maybe a little less than that, a year, but probably around a year. I'm missing something. I say, and I say like Zoom, not Zoom. This Skype. So I used to have Skype, bro. I really did have Skype, but I haven't opened Skype in a long. I had to like reset passwords and emails and all that shit, but I was able to find Skype, and there I found all the conversations and all that shit. And it was two things that came to my attention. It was about the moon, by coincidence. Toady UK sent me a few pictures on Skype a few days ago, and he said like, "Hey, Jose, look, it'll be cool if you maybe look at this picture and share it with your audience to see what they think, because it's on my phone, but the moon appears to be like behind the clouds or something, like in front of the clouds or something like that." He said it's not the best quality picture, but if you want to think that the moon is in front of the clouds, well, you can say that or whatever. So I'm gonna share those. I got 2 images of this.
I think I might just have found the ones you're on about, because I just had to boot Skype up because I don't use Skype.
Right. And it was Toady? Toady shared that?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So I got 2 images. I got this one. I'm gonna put it for you guys, for you to see on the Discord server, Daily Boom Sensor, and then I'm gonna share it for the audience. I'll share it for the audience on the
that date's from the 20th of August, 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, that probably is the last time I used Skype.
Share this tab. All right. So I got this one. This one. How about that? This is the first one with just the moon. There's no buildings or no houses or nothing. I'm sharing that one right now.
Yeah.
What do you think about the image? Just taken with a phone.
Yeah. I'm guessing from that's going to be that sort of late afternoon, early evening. the sun's thinking about setting, and there's the moon. Yeah.
It's typical. You always think you're going to get this great picture of a moon, and then the camera puts it in actual size, and it's like, oh, that sucks.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks awesome. What the hell?
And then now I'm gonna share the other one is where you got the car in the bottom left, and you got two houses, so like in a road, you can see that one. That's the one sharing right now for YouTube.
Yes.
And
I'm
like,
guessing there's.
if you zoom it in, the moon is like back there in the middle.
Yeah, there's. I'm guessing the first one he'd zoomed in, and the second one he hasn't, and that shows you. When you tend to use the cameras on mobile phones, they tend to have this effect of, I think, making everything look a little bit smaller. But yeah, the moon really isn't that big in the sky. It's not a big thing in the first place.
Yeah, and it depends on the screen monitor that you're watching right now.
Exactly.
That adds to the magic, the visual magic.
But of course,
yeah.
bear in mind that most of the time, when we see the moon, that's how big the sun actually appears to us as well, if you get rid of all the glare.
Right.
Yeah.
And it might
Same
look
thing when
like
you go to watch the eclipse with the eclipse sunglasses. Kind of disappointing.
Yeah, tiny.
Yeah.
That's the way I
because
saw it. The great American eclipse. That's how you watch it with little glasses, and I was just like squinting my eyes, like, yeah, tiny, son.
We had. I don't think it was a total eclipse. We had an eclipse here, early 90s, maybe early mid 90s, and we didn't need the special glasses because typical UK, it was so bloody cloudy. You could quite comfortably look at the sun through the cloud without any worry whatsoever.
Right.
I don't think it would have made very good photos, but you know.
In grade school, we made these boxes, like shadow boxes. You cut a hole in it and put a pinhole, and you watch the eclipse that way.
So,
That was early 80s. Not that I'm that old.
sometime in the 90s. I'm trying to think what office I was working in at the time to pin it down. It could have been mid to late 90s thinking about it. But yeah, it was so cloudy outside because everybody said, "Oh, what are we going to see it through?" And we went outside and said, "Well, we'll look at it through the cloud, shall we?"
All right, now I got another image that I would like to share, and this image was shared to me by Dan the Waterman. A long time ago in 2019, I think. I never seen this. And Farmers Boy, if would you like to open this image on your end and read the description? I'm sharing that for YouTube right now.
Yeah, I've done that. Oh, this is interesting. Right then, the secret failed Soviet moon landing. Just as Neil Armstrong was setting foot on the lunar surface on the 20th July 1969, the Luna 15 lander was crashing into the other side of the moon. Excuse me. It is a story the Soviets did not want the world to know. Is anyone really looking into this supposed Earthrise? C. Even if men did go to the moon and took pretty pictures, it is impossible to see an Earthrise seen from the moon's surface. There is no independent axial rotation for anything to rise.
How about all those words that he put in there somehow? Or maybe he found just those words and he liked the way it sounds. Tell me how any of this is right, if any, and what's going on here? Like, there's a lot of... It sounds like propaganda. Some brainwashing propaganda text.
Bizarrely enough, the first part of it, when it's referring to Luna 15, is more or less correct. Luna 15 did get to the moon, I think, the day after. It was launched 3 days before Apollo 11 took off. It was launched on the 13th, and I believe it did indeed crash into the side of a mountain on the moon on the 21st of July. Now, Apollo 11 was the 20th of July, and this crashed, as in it wasn't intended to. It crashed on the moon on the 21st of July. So this was one of many missions that the Soviets sent up to the moon, and this one didn't work, obviously. I think later ones did. That's how the Russians have their own moon samples, because this thing was designed to land on the moon surface, scoop some moon dust and dirt up, then send it back to Earth. But unfortunately, it landed a bit too quick, shall we say?
And Professor Phil Bell did the same thing, 50 years later?
Yeah, I mean, it's these things, the potential for things to go wrong are almost limitless. So the fact that they launched it, they sent it to the moon, they got it to the moon. Unfortunately, part of the deorbit didn't work, and it hit the moon a little bit quicker than anticipated. So that bit's right.
I never heard that, but that's cool. I'm going to look into that now.
The first man-made object to reach the moon was Russian. The first rover on the moon was Russian. The Russians, I think, on at least 2 occasions, have managed to gather up, albeit very small samples of moon dust, moon dirt, moon rock, whatever you want to call it, and bring it back to Earth. Obviously, nothing compared to what the Apollo missions did. But yeah, they did all that round about the same time that Apollo was going on.
Well,
Because
today I saw on
the
Twitter.
Russians were going to land men on the moon, weren't they? Well, a man at a time.
I saw on Twitter today's the anniversary of Apollo 8 returning to Earth. Apollo 8 just went around the moon, right?
Correct. They went around the moon and they gave they made a very famous. I think there was a reading from the Bible. It was either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I can't remember exactly the timing, but yes, they went around the moon, and just as they were coming out of the moon's shadow and could see Earth, and one of the astronauts, was it Jim Lovell? I can't remember. One of the astronauts did a reading from the Bible and all the rest of it. But yes, that was the first time that men had been around the moon.
Yeah, I forgot that. I forgot to share the show and tag at everyone. So I just tag everyone on the Discord, and maybe we'll get a few more participants, and maybe a few of those that will join us in the call. And yeah, let's break this down. Now Brian Mabbett just shared an image. He said, "What made the tracks? What made the tracks if it crashed?" I'm gonna share this image that Brian Mabbett shared for YouTube.
Well,
And
he has zoomed in on the image that you shared with us, and I can guarantee you that image, that photo, was not taken by Luna 15 because it crashed. In fact, I couldn't even tell you that photograph, certainly to me, looks like a composite. So I couldn't tell you which photos that's come from, but that has definitely not come from Luna 15 because it was in
what the source? Yeah, what the source of this image is?
I don't know. I'm suspecting those tracks. That's probably come from one of the last 3 Apollo missions,
right?
Because obviously they had the lunar rovers on board. The rest of it, I mean, the mountains in the background, I suspect aren't part of the original image. I suspect the lump of rock in the bottom left isn't part of the original image. The Earth probably isn't part of the original image. God knows.
It's just a match up of images. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Because I've never seen that photo before, not like that. And I've looked at all of the Apollo photos. So Christ knows where that's come from.
Yeah, they carry those lunar rovers. They're too big; they don't fit.
Big shout out to everybody. Can you give me 1 minute? I forgot to do something very important, and it's saying a big shout out to the people on YouTube. Man.
Yeah.
Shame on me. So besides Farmer's Boy and Mr. Malort in the call over here, we got in the chat box Zebulon 181. Tweeted, voted. Thank you, tweet. Also, we have Cuso, Puerto Rico #1. RT96, Howard Moore. Howard Moore said, "Coming your way, Jose. If I didn't have to turn and burn, I'll drop by. Hey, Howard, if you are close here, holler at me in the Tampa Bay area, man. We might meet. Fly me to the moon, says Farmer's Boy. Charlie Welch, Mr. Malord. Also, Brian Mabbett, Fred Bailey, Martin, Extra J, Gary Waibenga, Patty O Furniture, I hope I didn't miss anybody. Biggest Dogus, Debate Night, and John Rapp. So, because a bunch of people just came in late, all I ask you to do is to hit that like button, share the show, and if you can, share your wealth with the poor people. I am the poor people. Hit me up on PayPal with anything you can. You can find the link pinned above in the chat box or in the description box. And we are in the Discord server, the Daily Boom. Please join and let's have some fun. Now, the three rules: no personal attacks, troll responsibly, and swear accordingly. Thank you very much. And fuck that. No more swearing. Fuck it. Go ahead.
Fuckity fuck. Yeah. Yeah, I was just having a quick look through some of the Apollo photos. That's got to be a mix of photos. That thing. That's got to be. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, the photo's too good, too perfect.
Yeah.
But
Share
that's
some-
what
If you guys got photos, anybody in chat box or you guys here, Balord and Farmers, share some good photos over here so we can, try thinking. I'm sorry, I cannot have links that you posting here with images because those images might be copyrighted. So I'm sorry, you cannot share that images here on the Daily Boom. Try thinking. Just type and have fun in chat box. Boom. Go ahead, guys.
I've got some information for you.
Oh,
Please. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I found a portion of that image. And the portion the portion of the image has a dancing astronaut on it, and it's part of a video. So I'll just show frames of it. It's actually on Shutterstock.
Oh shit! You gonna share the screen?
Yeah. So
let me set you up for YouTube.
Yeah. So here we go. We can see the rock in question. Yeah, so we can see it's missing a part on the left, but we can see the tracks. We can see the rock. We can see a fake Earth and a dancing astronaut done as part of an animation test.
Oh dear.
So well done for saying, hey, this is fake. How the hell did you ascertain that?
It's all fake. We said it's fake. It says image rendered by. But why would they release it?
I'm fairly familiar with most of the Apollo moon landing photos and what the landing sites look like, particularly the last three that had lunar rovers on board. And that it doesn't look right. And I know they didn't take photos like that with that Earthrise in the background. Not at those angles and those views. It's just completely bogus.
Yeah, and like I say, part of it there on Shutterstock, you can tell because of the tracks and the rock. So there you go.
Yep.
So now what I'm asking for is this image that I was sharing. A person like Dan the Waterman that want to believe something like, it cannot happen, and I'm gonna find evidence, and he find some piece of propaganda, manipulated image like this, and he spread it like if it was real. That's cool, man.
Well, the issue, all you have to look at is, in order to actually perpetuate that the Earth is flat, you have to concentrate and add way too much weight to about 2 or 3 things and actively ignore hundreds of thousands of things. So yes, it is quite possible for someone that wants to believe they're so special and that the Earth is flat to construct mental pictures like, hey, this is real.
And I'm not accusing him, like Dan, to create this picture. He found it. He probably found it, and he believes it, and he didn't do a simple research like you just did and said, oh, yeah, this is, I mean, it's a funny gift somebody did, You think a person like him could do this and put it together just to try to brainwash others?
I don't. Well, no, I don't know. I think people like Nathan Oakley would. I'm not sure, like Dan the Waterman would.
Yeah, like like grabbing like in a piece of floor where you get a bumpy, where you get a like a little step inside the door, or you get a bump in the carpet, and then bring the phone down and say, "Look, this disappeared from the bottom up in a 5-foot little segment of my floor, which is all fucked up."
Yeah, I'm just going to share again quickly, Jose, just for anybody
man.
that gives a crap. So something that's really good is this. It's this little known site. It's called Google.
I'm expecting
What
big
is
things. I'm expecting big things of Google.
Yeah.
I think they're going places. Yeah.
I do too. So
I don't know. I think
Google,
this whole internet's not power.
so with Google, you can simply go to images and then drag and drop an image into it and say, find me where this is used. Now it comes up with similar results, but if you come down to the first pages that include that, you actually then have links to that exact image with the words virtual next to it as well, which from a Pinterest group, virtual. So yes, it's very easy to search for images because it'll give you visually similar. It'll give you ones where it's originally used, although there's none here because of this text. Some flat earthers whacked this text on, so it won't say, hey, I found the exact image. It can't do that. But it's found the exact image without the text underneath, all with virtual landscapes. So yes, there you go. Very easy to do. Little unknown website called Google.
And it's free.
I'm still fairly convinced that in that image, the portion that's showing the tracks, I suspect that's taken from one of the Apollo photos.
Oh yeah,
that bit is. If I had time, I'd go through every single photo from 15, 16, and 17 and probably find it for you. But bollocks to that. But the rest of it, it's all been mashed together. That's not any known. That's not a photo from any known Apollo landing site. Let's put it that way.
Oh no! If someone asked me to reconstruct that, the first thing that I'd do is I'd search for high resolution images, and I wouldn't try and recreate the predominant flat surface that I'm wanting to cast a shadow onto, and actually project a real photo that was taken onto that, and then start adding to it. So yeah, I concur.
So there you go. But that's unfortunately what we've come to expect.
Yeah, this
and
link
they'll see that photo and go, look, there's proof. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the link that Thurston just shared is pond5.com. Stock footage item, lunar landscape. It's a pond5 file thing. And it's just a few seconds video, looping 20-second video.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sharing that for YouTube. Yeah, thank you, Sturgeon. Appreciate it. Hopefully people can see it. And it's exactly, that I'm saying landscape. Look, you got the tracks and the big rock, and you got this little parallax thing going on, It's a nice composite, It's a nice, made up landscape.
Well, the other big clue that is made up, certainly in this view, you can see that the tracks of the whatever vehicles left them are heading straight towards the two rocks in the foreground. Really? Or do you think that they just carry on out of shot and then the rocks in the foreground have been added on afterwards? Because Apollo 17, they did drive up to and spent a lot of time at a very big rock, which is neither of these in the foreground. And they didn't just sort of drive up to it until they ran into it. I mean, the whole thing's just fake as hell. It definitely wasn't taken by a crashed Soviet probe. Because it crashed.
But people is gullible. When one wants to find evidence for something that agrees with you, you're gonna find it, and you're not gonna look too deep into breaking it down and analyzing something that for you is correct and it adds up with your belief and your narrative and your agenda. You're just gonna accept it. whatever you presented with. Got
a
it.
really good thing, and we use this in software design, product design, games design, all that kind of stuff, or even just just for like new products and things. You can always tell if someone is not a subject matter expert, but if they've considered everything by getting them to argue against the point that they're making. Now, in product design, software design, or any kind of realization of something, and it could be a political, it could be anything. You have a red team normally. You assemble a red team, so you have a group of individuals that say, "Hey, this idea, or this idealism, or whatever the hell it is, this methodology, this political statement is really good." But then you put together an equally competent team to argue against it, that know it just as much as the people arguing for it. And you do that for very pragmatic reasons to figure out, well, is it worth it? Is it true? Are we going to do it? Now, what I used to be able to do to load, I'll stop rambling in a minute as well. What I used to be able to do to loads of people to test them on a subject, like, let's say 3D graphics and Blender, or 3D graphics and Maya. I used to be a Maya Autodesk instructor. You can figure out if I really know Maya by not asking me what's great about it, but asking me what's wrong with it. And you should be able to do the same thing with an idea. If you can't argue against your own idea, you haven't considered it enough. And I find that very telling. That I think I've asked about 3 flat earthers to do the exact same. Argue against what you're saying. Tell me what you've considered, and they've never considered anything. And that's how you realise, well, hang about, your bias is way too strong to even, have a discussion.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, very well said. And I want to thank you, tell you, Stingray, that you told me, no need, but I want to thank you for your support via PayPal. The other day, right at the end of the show, I didn't even know. I go like, holy shit, thank you, brother, for helping out. I brought it out.
Did you also read the note?
I read the note. Yes, I don't remember exactly, but I mean,
it said. I'll do it kind of verbatim. Don't worry, you don't have to mention this.
Yeah, I know you say it, but still, Stingray, I wanted to thank.
No, that's all right.
I appreciate it. Yep. Oh, this is good. Yeah, I think I gave Arwin like $5 the other day. I was trolling him with $5, which is good. I mean, I don't have a lot, but really, what I was listening and I felt bad for him. I said, like, damn, I mean, he was struggling a little bit. I said, let me give him $5. I got 20, so I'll give him 5. That's good. It feels good.
The problem with Arwin or people that just dedicate, I mean, at the end of the day, is it going to affect my life if the world is flat or a planet? No. I carry on because I've got bigger priorities than the shape of the planet. The shape of the planet is what it is. The problem and the reason why you know that someone is kind of a zealot or a fanatic is that's all that's important to them. And that's just entirely wrong. And Arwin is like that. That's all that's important to him is these conspiracies and the shape of the planet, not prospering in life or anything like that, or being healthy or having a family or just getting on. It's this single subject. The earth is flat and everything's against me. And I just don't get it. It's weird to me.
Yeah, is the only thing on their minds. I mean, I was in that boat for the longest time. The only thing I thought was about flat Earth and what am I going to do to prove this? And let me dig into the dark webs and trying to find this evidence and all this kind of shit. But it literally is the only thing on your mind 24/7. You forget that you have a family and friends around you in real life, and it kills you. It affects you big time. And I'm telling you for experience, like I went through that, and I bet a lot of people that are in the discussion for a long time, they go through that, and mostly in the first at least 2 years, 1, 2, even 3 years on the topic. There's people still really active that is, they I don't know how they how they shovel their time around for real life and work and internet. But the first few years is the toughest because that's the only thing in your mind and it just fucks you up, man.
Yeah, see, the I'd love for you still to be a flat earther because I'd just ask you, great, the Earth's flat. What next? What's the next step? Great, the Earth is flat. We've all been lied to. What's next, and what comes of it? What does it get us? Where are we from this point? How much better off are we? Or does it not make a blind shit of a difference? I don't know whether it would.
Yeah, that's a question that I was always unable to answer. I mean, my answer was like, I just wait for everybody to wake up and then go back to the beginning to who was the first people that say that the Earth is flat. Who is the more vocal people on the internet and YouTube and all of that? Let's give him credit. I was waiting always to have some credit that I was one of the first, the flat earthers out there that was telling people, I told you so. But nothing concrete, nothing solid. And I say, if this is going to happen, if everybody's going to wake up, we're going to realize the Earth is flat, and they're going to find out that I was one of the first. This might happen in 50 years, in 100 years, 200 years from now. Where in the fuck am I going to be? Although in the rest of my life, doing nothing and just nothing. I mean, I will go nowhere. My life will be nothing if that was my approach. Just staying here for that. Sorry, I ranted. It made like no sense whatsoever.
Going back to that image you put up, Jose, and it was stating that it's impossible to get a Earthrise photo from the moon.
Right.
Well, all of the photos we have of Earthrise aren't taken from the moon surface.
Yeah, I got the image up for YouTube again.
Yeah, all of the so-called Earthrise photos are taken from spacecrafts various that are in orbit around the moon. That's why the Earth appears to rise above the moon, because it's the spacecraft that's taking the photograph that's moving. There aren't any Earthrise photos taken from the surface of the moon. The Earth's already there. I just thought I'd point that out as well.
Quick question. Good question by Hold On. If I do I connect? I mean, on the PayPal senders to PayPal, like I got a lot of people that send me with your real names. Some people already recognize. I see the names, and I say like, yeah, this is this username on YouTube. But I forget. I got a very short time memory, but I need to take me an hour and go through the list and then have it in a little side note. Names versus usernames. So I'll let you guys know in the next few days, just in case. Like, hey, if you want to, throw me $5 or $10, and you don't want to insist on that. Yeah, this is Farmer's Boy, or this is, whatever. Hold on. So I will have your names, but yeah, I sometimes I see a name, I say like, I've seen this name before. Damn it, this person have already sent me money, but I don't remember who it is. You go like, damn it. Yeah, I gotta take notes. I gotta be more organized. I gotta talk to MC Toon to see how he organizes himself, because he looks like the person he keeps the shit organized on.
Well, I mean, just look at his website. Yeah,
I know.
Keeps it organized.
I don't. I gotta shit, bro. My desktop is full of like shitload of saved pages and thumbnails and pictures and random shit around everywhere.
Yes. You have to be a little bit more organized, I'm afraid.
Oh, I'm clutter.
But yeah, I thought I'd point out about that photograph. So, like I said, the first part of it's absolutely right. Luna 15 crash landed a matter of hours before Apollo 11 was due to take off and return to Earth. And in fact, and I had forgotten this, but I just did some research, the Soviets actually gave NASA the full details of Luna 15's flight plan, because they knew that sort of Apollo 11 and Luna 15 would overlap each other, and they they didn't want to be in the position of like causing a collision or a problem. So they said to NASA, look, we're sending a probe up. Here's our flight plan. Is everything okay? And they went, yeah, should be. You're right. You won't sort of clash with us, sort of thing. So if the Americans were lying, so were the Soviets. And it all goes quiet.
Sorry, I was talking.
Oh, by the way, Jose, you were muted.
Yeah, I know. I realize now. Some the Elmig mentioned earlier that Flat Out Hero has returned back to reality, or is he just trolling? Flat Out Hero was the one that put the challenge up 100,000 with the triangle flight route or whatever. That it was kind of very famous a year and a half ago. I don't know what deemed him with back to reality. Did he live flat Earth? I don't know. That's what the Elmix typed over.
Oh, I don't know.
Yep. So I'm gonna have a hot mic for a few minutes. So shout out to Fred. Fred is here. Gary C. Gary JG. Gary questionable. Gary Boy, Mr. Malord, and the Stingray are in the call. I'll mute myself for a few minutes while we get the hot mic out of the way.
You mean they're not called Gary? Well, that's going to cause a bit of confusion.
Stingray have a Gary name?
No, he missed all the fun and games.
He's too cool for it, anyways.
I'm gonna put up in the screen the image that Brian Mabbott just shared. I'm gonna have it up on screen.
What's the deal with the Garys here?
Right, as I explained earlier on, anamorphic mind, whenever a certain person from another server responds to him directly, he always calls him Gary because he's convinced himself that anamorphic mind's real name is Gary. Now, I have no idea whether that's true or not. Couldn't give a shit, but there was an awful lot of back and forth yesterday or last night, as far as I'm concerned, and he kept calling him Gary. So everybody else thought, oh, we can all be Gary too. And there you go. So it's a bit like when we all went bro. We're all now Gary.
You need to be Gary, bro.
And as far as Brian's photograph, that could well be real because that is the big lump of rock that they were checking out on Apollo 17. And I'm just trying to see if I can find the original. However, there are an awful lot of bloody photographs. That could well be the real McCoy. But there were many, many photographs taken by Apollo 17. They're the colour ones.
All right. Charlie Wells says, Jose, check out Fight the Flat Earth's community post today. John Rapp says, did everyone see Radical's face reveal? Very cool. I don't know who Radical is, and I will check into the Fight the Flat Earth thing. He say, as the official NASA appointed globe representative, I welcome Flat Out Hero back to the globe. Look out for the next interview with an ex-Flat Earther coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
And he put an image of Flat Out Hero with the glasses on. Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
Another one woke up.
Yeah, I'm not yet because I have to do a predictions show for 2022. Our predictions for 2022. If you guys want to start today and throw some predictions on what's going to happen, predictions is a very broad term. Could be on advancements on science, advancements on technology, advancements on not much in politics nor health. Let's try to leave those out. But it could be in natural phenomena, natural disasters, if any going to be. And most important, on this corner of the YouTube where we hang out, the characters, the channels, the people. If you got any predictions of what could happen, yeah, I like to listen to those. And I think the audience also might have some, predictions to make. Because who would have predicted for 2021 that there were going to be at least 5 or 6 deaths of recognized flat earthers?
Yeah. S. Thurston has found the basis for that photograph from Apollo 15. That makes sense because they did
That is
land
not as
near a
many.
mountain range.
No, it's not a mountain. It's like the opposite of the mountain. How you call it? Right?
The opposite of a mountain.
Yeah, it's like a valley. It's called. I was talking about it with someone today. Rima Hadley.
Hadley Rill, part of the Apennine Mountains.
Right. 2 bits to the east.
Yes, a mountain range that's more than 15,000 feet tall.
Yeah, but they're on the other side. On the east side,
Yeah, anyway.
Left Lane says, all Bev does is drop memes and fake videos. Shout out to Left Lane.
Yep.
Farmers.
Wait a minute,
Oh.
just really quickly. Brian Mabbott, the previous one is put real? Question mark. Can you see that, farmers?
Yes.
I'm gonna put that up on screen and then the one that he just put. So
I'm not
the
going to
first
scroll
one
through.
is there. Yeah.
I'm not going to scroll through all the photos taken from Apollo 17, but that could well be from Apollo 17 because they took a ride on the rover out to this very, very large rock, which I think was about the only time any of the Apollo missions did that. And that could well be that rock. But like I say, there's so many bloody photos to scroll through.
Do you wanna know and I suppose it's irony. Yeah, irony. Do you wanna know the irony of this is that rock? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you something now. Let me share because it's funny. Well, here we go. Photoshop. Share. Let me know when you see this.
I'll show you in 10 seconds. You'll be up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not that rock in that other first image.
It is. It is. Are you ready? Except they blurred it a little bit. So
Well, of
if you have a
course.
look at, if you have a look at this, one of the telltale features is this quite distinct line that acts down. Now, if we look up here, we can see the same line, and it's like, oh, interesting.
Well, there's the thing.
Yes.
Yes.
You flat earthers are really, really funny. Bless.
And the second image he's put up is a black and white version of a very, very famous photograph of Edwin Buzz Aldrin taken by Neil Armstrong, and you can see the reflection of Neil Armstrong in his visor. Quite why you've put up a crappy black and white version, I don't know.
Oh, I bet that's a brilliant photo. Wow.
Now I'm going to share the other one that, this astronaut standing on, and you can see the shadow and the reflection on the helmet.
And if I put up the original. Where have I got it hidden? Because that's also cropped. And
We got a link to the original Farmers. I'd love to have that. Actually.
This is the original. Okay, so I'll share that one.
That's that. Brian's put up a cropped black and white, really rather slightly crappy version.
There you go. This one is sharing for YouTube now. The one you just posted, Farmers Boy. This is a high quality image, right?
So that's the NASA photograph. You can see one of the landing feet of the lunar module in front of him, with the crushed probe. 3 of the 4 feet had a 6-foot long probe hanging out the bottom of it, which basically told them when they were right on top of the moon's surface. Obviously, it's 6 foot long, so the probe hits the surface. Little light comes on the dashboard inside, and that tells them to shut the rocket engine off.
Quick observation, Farmers. If I compare the image that you posted original versus the one that Brian Mabbott shared, and I'm sharing it, I'm flipping it between. Whoever cropped this picture that Brian posted, they also straightened up the astronaut, because in the original picture it's like tilted slightly sideways, and then they cropped it and straightened it up on Brian's edited picture.
And you'll notice the one that I've put up. You've even got those on the left and the right hand edges where they haven't actually cleaned up the negative. I think. I mean that's about as and it is very, very high quality. I mean you can zoom right in and still make out detail. You can see Neil Armstrong standing there. You can see that obviously the distorted shape of the lunar module, because of course the whole visor's curved.
Really?
Yeah, that's one of the most famous photographs that Apollo 11 took on the surface there.
Yeah, it doesn't make anything. It's no good when you share a cropped image, washed out black and white with less definition. The one you shared is, this one is.
And now Brian's questioning it, because in Buzz Aldrin's visor, you can see his shadow. You can see Neil Armstrong taking the photo, and you can see that from our point of view, the right-hand side, or Buzz Aldrin's left-hand side, is the one that's receiving the sunlight, because, hey, that's the direction the sun's coming from. There's only one light source on the moon. It's the sun. I mean, he's trying his best. He's most desperate here to say, "Oh, this is fake somehow," but failing at every turn, I'm afraid.
Anybody remember which picture was the one that Mr. Sensible got signed? He got like a real picture of the Apollo signed. I don't know if he bought it in a museum or some kind of auction or something. I don't remember which one exactly.
Pass.
Paul Don was asking, And I remember that event that he shared. Like, look what I got, a real picture. Like, I got the only copy, whatever he's got hands on. But I don't know exactly.
Out of interest, Farmers, what? I don't get what Brian Mabbitt's on about here.
I don't either.
Is he saying that lighting doesn't match? Because it absolutely 100% does. Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's the lighting what he's complaining about.
I mean,
okay. So
number one is highlighting the bright side of Aldrin's suit, which you'd expect because that's pretty much the direction the sunlight's coming from. Number two is highlighting Aldrin's shadow that's being cast in front of him because the sun isn't to its side. It's coming in sort of beside and behind him a bit. So he's casting his own shadow, and you can see that reflected in his visor. And number three is the reflection of Neil Armstrong, who's taking the bloody photograph. I see absolutely nothing wrong with that image whatsoever. That's what you'd expect to see because those visors they're gold-plated and highly reflective. That was the whole point.
I've shown children photography and key lighting that would understand this better, and they're only 11 years old.
Yeah. And of course, the irony is that Neil Armstrong's the famous one for being first man on the moon, and yet he hardly appears in any of the photographs at all because he took most of them. There are a few photos of him on the moon's surface, but there really aren't that many. All of the big famous photographs tend to be of Buzz Aldrin because Neil Armstrong was taking the bloody photos. Most of them, not all
and
of
then
them, but he took the majority of them.
yeah, we got now Captain Caveman reposted a picture, but instead of typing numbers, he kind of threw some big bold red lines on the direction of the quote unquote shadows.
There are
Stinger?
a few photos of him on the moon surface, but there really aren't that many. All of the big
Brian,
Hot mic,
YouTube
Brian.
page.
Hot mic.
It weren't me, it was you lot fucking rattling.
Well, I could hear me coming through you, which means you had the YouTube page open
Yeah.
or
I did.
unmuted. Yeah, I
So
know.
it weren't me, it was you.
Yeah, whatever, mate.
Right.
So-
the sun's coming from
Right.
his right-hand side. Agreed?
Well, not dead on his right-hand side, because if you look at the original photograph, you can see his shadows being cast at an angle. So it's coming from sort of over his left-hand shoulder. That's the direction of the sunlight.
So why would he have a shadow directly out in front of him?
It's not directly out in front of him. His visor is curved. Do you really think that the lunar module had one landing leg and foot 3 times bigger than all the others? Or do you think there's some distortion because it's a curved visor?
Brian, I've got a question for you. If I spent 30 minutes recreating this with one light source and a sphere for the helmet that's chrome and put objects in the place and showed you that it's absolutely as everybody says, would that make a difference to your belief system if I show you that you've
No.
completely taken this the wrong way?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very
There you
difficult
go.
because nothing can travel in a vacuum. So this is just what we've just got to do is pick apart their complete and utter nonsense.
Oh, dear.
That's all. That's all you need to do, knowing that nothing can travel without having something to push off against.
So you don't understand how
Totally
rockets work.
debunks what we've been fed. And you're earlier you were saying about it doesn't matter what shape the earth is. Totally agree with you. It doesn't matter to any of us. What does matter, however, is why are they lying to us? That is what matters, because they are using our tax money against us. That is what matters to humanity.
What
Not
tax money?
what shape we're on. That
Yeah,
doesn't matter a flying fuck.
What tax money do you mean?
The tax you pay, the tax I pay.
Oh, I pay a shit ton of tax, believe me. But I want which bit of it are you on about?
The money you are putting towards this, because we all, as a body, humanity, are paying towards this deception. That is what counts.
Oh,
How are
dear.
they spending it?
By deceiving you, by keeping you in this fantasy.
But how? I mean, what part of my tax money goes to it? Is it Department of Defence? Is it military spending?
It
Is
could
it
well be
community?
all of it. It could well be just a penny. Who knows? The fact of the matter is, we all pay to this, and we are paying into being deceived. That is what counts.
And they're using that money to deceive us as well. Is that right?
Yes, you are being deceived.
And how are they using that money to deceive me?
They're keeping you in this mind trap that you live on a ridiculous spinning sphere.
Brilliant.
I gotta say something, please. Very important. This small channel, 431 subscribers, and we have 53 people watching. This is a big boom, big success. 53 people watching. Thank you, everybody watching. Only thing I ask you to do is something free, easy, and very quick. Just go ahead and hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, and then jump in the YouTube chat box and pop in and say hello and have some fun. Boom! And join the Discord. Yeah, that's free too. Yeah, guys.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, Brian, how are they deceiving me? How and why is a good thing. I guess you don't know why.
He's gone.
Oh,
He's
that's
gone.
a shame.
He may have just had a bad
I want
connection.
him
Let's
to
give him the
explain
benefit of
how
the doubt.
those things can't travel in a vacuum.
Well, it's like when
I'd
someone
like him to explain.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'd like him to explain how he knows things cannot travel in a vacuum.
Well, because he's seen it in some shitty YouTube video, so therefore it must be true. The whole point of flat Earth is space travel. Everything to do with space has to be. Oh, he's on a call. Has to be fake. It has to be, because the minute any of it is real, your flat Earth just disappeared. So it has to be fake. It doesn't matter how stupid you sound saying these things.
No, flat Earth doesn't disappear if that's the case. It lives on with pushytrons.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot a bit.
No, that's hollow Earth. That's concave. Concave Earth.
Look, I had enough of that earlier on. Stop it. Oh, bloody hell, concave Earth.
Yeah, Brian Mabbit is on a call right now.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
When
he's on.
people using the phone, you get a phone call, you get all fucked up. So I hope he come back soon.
No, it's one of these basic sort of aspects of reality that have to be denied. Rockets can't work in space because space has to be fake. End of story. It has to be.
Even though every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Only in an atmosphere. Only when it's got something to push against.
That's not what it's saying.
I know that, but that's what they think it means. They don't understand how a rocket works, which is why rockets can't work in space, because they've got nothing to push against. There's a reason we use rockets, because there's nothing up there. Otherwise, we have to use a reaction engine and not an air-breathing engine, because there's no fucking air up there.
So basically, you can sum it up in they do not know what inertia is.
Amongst many other things, yes. Yes.
Oh, don't worry. I had someone tell me earlier on, well, this morning, very early in the morning, that time doesn't exist.
Well, as a wise man once said, time is an illusion. Lunchtime doubly so.
That's a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference.
Of course it is. Could even be only the first chapter.
But I mean, for me, it's time. Time exists because we have change. Change is a good analogy to time, or a good simile to time.
Yeah.
And when we measure it, we're measuring sort of like the change of something.
Yeah. So can I think I came up with. See if you can beat this, Russ.
Go on then.
When someone said time doesn't exist to me, I said time is a concept. It's a way that we categorize a unit of measurement that we can isolate and be useful in the change of things, and the most accurate time is the smallest reoccurring change that we can monitor. So the fact that, and you'll know where the division of 60 came from and the solar system and the fact of days and things, but we could have just chosen quartz pulsars. It could have been anything.
Yep, it could have been the beating of a wren's heart before I cut its tongue out to serve for dinner.
Oh my God.
Oh, wren's tongues. Oh, got any nuts?
That got dark very quickly. I don't know where.
I know exactly where that's come from.
No, popular people's front of Judea, isn't it? Splitters.
Splitters.
I thought we were. Sorry.
Oh dear. You can tell Joss is here. We're getting Python references.
Sorry. But yeah, I like that. I like the smallest increment piece, especially.
Well,
I argument.
We can, we measure things down to, what is it, cesium-123 change now, which is on the order of picoseconds or something. So that's how accurate we are, and it's just a reoccurring rate of change in moments. I just call them moments, and we just happen to call it time and give it units like seconds, picoseconds, nanoseconds.
You tell that to flat earthers today, and they just don't believe you.
That were a terrible accent for northern counties.
What do you expect? I'm Scottish. I'm not bloody English, so I have problems doing the accent I have, let alone any other.
Oh, Justin found the Apollo 17 photo. Good man.
Nice. Yeah, it's been some interesting discussions happening in and around. I say that in a broad sense. But yeah, it's still, for me, it's still in the same place as yes, they can make loads and loads of claims, but they can't really back any of them up except in the most obtuse way.
Yeah.
Can I read the results of a poll that I put up earlier? Like,
I don't know. Can you?
yes,
Yes,
I
you
can.
can.
Can I have a break to do that? Can I have 1 minute? I already took like 20 of those.
You may.
All right. The poll was, what is Earth? That was a question, and there are 4 options. What is Earth with the lowest amount of votes? Non-binary, non-binary or other, 8%. 69 people voted. That's why I wanted to stop it here. Thank you for the 69 votes. So the Earth is non-binary or other, 8% of those 69. And in number 3 came in flat with a 13% of the 69 votes. On number 2, what is Earth? Well, it is squeaky with a 36%. And very, very close to it in a number 1 position with a big 42% of the 69 votes. What is Earth? Spherical. I guess of the spherical nature. So spherical won with a big 69 votes. And I know there were a lot of non-Globers and people watching around because a lot of people chose squeaky over spherical, but spherical still won. Thank you very much for your participation. And we got a full house, bruh. Thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna let it roll. Take the floor. I'll be lurking in the background. If anybody want to support me or join, you can find the Discord link in the description box or pin in the YouTube chat box. And if you want to support via PayPal, that's where you find it too. Boom! If you guys got cool images to share, throw it in the Discord and I'll put them up.
I have just found the originals for that Apollo 17 photo of the rock. That one photo is not an original. It's a composite of 2, possibly 3 photos. It's on Apollo 17 magazine 140/E. I know I'd find the buggers eventually. That's not one photograph. That's a composite. So there you go.
It's amazing what a little research does.
Well, it's like, it's taken in colour. Okay, that's like half the number of rolls of film you've got to look through, which helps. But even so, it took some finding.
Yo, I forgot to tell you, on Christmas, my nephew came over and he said like, hey, look what I got. The first picture he showed me, freaking rocket, bro. And I said like, where the fuck you got that? He said, yeah, I went to over here in Florida, somewhere in a museum. And then he got a bunch of cool picture of rockets. So I'm gonna be sharing those on the Daily Boom very shortly and share it with everybody. It's gonna be tricky.
Oh, you've woke the dogs up.
I'm a second. I'm clicking one and one. I don't know if I can upload like up to 10 pictures at once, but I'll try. If I click share, no, damn it. Anyways, I'm just trying to figure out because he sent it to me via WhatsApp app thing, and I'm not very familiar, so they didn't. I don't know how to download them to my phone first, and then from my phone share them.
If you hold your finger on the WhatsApp, it normally will come up with an option to download. All the 3 dots on the top right corner will allow you to download it. I'll get my phone out and find out. But actually, it should automatically appear in your phone gallery if it's an Android.
Yeah, it didn't appear in the Droid guide because I remember when I installed WhatsApp, I put the option not to save it automatically.
That's why then.
But if I press and hold, let me choose to. Oh, I cannot. I gotta do one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can share it directly to Discord, so I'll do it. I'll do it singles one at a time. So good. I'm gonna share them all, and then I'll start sharing. Actually, I'm gonna put this up so we get something new to see on the. That's up for YouTube, the image.
It's a shuttle somewhere, maybe. Is there a shuttle on the other side? No, there isn't. It's the tank and the boosters.
I think this is the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Oh
Nice.
no! I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's the Kennedy Space Center. Yeah, and this is the Atlantis Space Shuttle, or is it? Am I confused?
No, there's no shuttle. You can see the mounting points for the shuttle, but it's not there.
Okay.
I'm guessing the shuttle must be indoors somewhere. Needs a banana for scale.
Yeah, but it was cool. He said, like, dude, I wanted to show you this because I went and I was hanging out there, and I know you enjoy this. I said, hey, yeah, man, thanks.
No, that's cool.
Good. I got a few more I'm gonna share in a second. I just posted it little by little.
I decided to do a reply back to Brian's note on, when you can produce, a team that wins all 4 6-hour races, come and talk to me. I said, cool. Well, when you're part of a team that produces over £100 million per year and there are 20 of us, come and talk to me.
Okay, it's dick swinging time. Good grief.
My dick swings long and low when it comes to the cash. I was even more pleased because my section was about 28 mil. So that was pretty cool.
That's not bad going.
I don't see any of the money, but, I get paid quite well, so I can't complain too much. But they got the web up and they haven't crashed it yet. That's pretty awesome.
There's just still no. I'm not gonna jinx it. It's all gonna go fine for the next 6 months.
Going to be the unfoldy bit that we're all going to worry about.
Yes, because the last time they tested that, there was a problem. That set them back quite some time. So
that's not serviceable, is it? If it goes wrong.
No. If it's out at L2, I mean that's a million miles away.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong, it's fucked.
Why wouldn't they? So here's a question, genuine question. Why wouldn't they have a plan to have it in orbit, serviceable while full deployment takes place, then move it to a Lagrange point?
Right. The James Webb Telescope is basically infrared, and it's very, very delicate. So what they've had to do during just the launch is try and keep it away from the sun. It's been orientated in such a way that as it goes out to L2, the delicate bit, the actual telescope, isn't looking or isn't pointed towards the sun. So they couldn't put it in Earth orbit because at some point, somewhere, it will get hit by sunlight, and that could fuck it up. The whole point of putting it out at L2 is they're trying to block the sun from actually getting to it.
That's what the big screens are about, isn't it? The tinfoil screeny things.
Yeah, the big tinfoil screens. They're acting as a heat shield and basically a sun shield to stop the sunlight getting onto the important bit. So all the unfolding will be done once it's there.
And all of this would have been saved if they had just used a lens cap.
Well, there was a tweet I saw earlier on today, and it says, first images back from the James Webb Telescope, and basically it says, please remove lens cap. Oh, fuck. But that is the problem. If anything goes wrong, they can't do a thing about it. If it's a case of sending it new software, fine, they can do that. But if it's anything mechanical, it's knackered. All of these years, all of these money will be down the drain because at the moment we've got no way of getting out there to fix it. At least for Hubble, it was in Earth orbit and they could send a shuttle up, which of course they had to do. But this, no, if it goes out there and it goes tits up, sorry, that's it. It's just a very expensive lump of metal sat there doing nothing. So the next 6 months, as it, hopefully it unfolds, sets itself up, then goes through the commissioning process. Hopefully that nothing goes wrong.
Meanwhile, flat Earth scientists are trying to figure out what their favorite flavor of crayon is.
Correct.
Okay, guys, I need clarification. What is this? I'm gonna repost this one. I'm sharing this one. What the hell is this vehicle?
Well, from the looks of it, it's a proposed Mars rover vehicle navigator. Yes.
Oh,
Not seen that one before. But then, if you go back to all the old NASA stuff from the '60s, you'll see all the designs they were coming up with for craft to land on the moon, rovers, habitats, everything. You know. So this is just, I think, one of them. Somebody said, "Oh yeah, if we go to Mars, this is a rover we could build."
okay. Okay, I see.
I'm guessing that's what. I don't know who's come up with it or anything. I've not seen that one before, but
What is the Atlantis? Remember the Atlantis? The Atlantis is this one. Let me repost it.
that's one of the shuttles, isn't it?
This
Wasn't
one
that
I'm
Atlantis?
sharing. Atlantis.
Yes.
That's what it says.
The first one that they used for testing was Enterprise. I can't believe that they called it Enterprise and it didn't go into space. Talk about a missed opportunity.
All right.
Yeah, Atlantis, Challenger, Columbia, Discovery,
Enterprise.
Enterprise was sort of the test one, wasn't it? I don't think that ever went into space, did it, Enterprise? I think that was the one that they sort of did all the testing on and carted around on the 747 and made sure it could glide like a brick, and if I remember rightly.
And how about this? I don't know who is the more fanboy, if it's Farmer's Boy or Dross, because Dross is here. Farmer's Boy, you got a challenger here. This one, which one this is? You guys should know. I have no idea. It just say United States, USA, but it has a number here, SA209. Maybe with that
75.
number. Holy shit, man! You know.
By the way, Farmers knows way more about this shit than I do.
Okay.
way more. It's the same way as I'd never. If he said that's this tank, I'd have to have a really good reason to disagree with him.
Now this is a wide angle camera. Look how bendy this one is. Is that why the rockets go up and then come back down? You go like because it's bendy. Because it's curved.
Right, that is the last remaining example of the Saturn 1B. This was all part of the development of the Saturn rocket that ultimately led to the Saturn V. You know, the huge monster that sent them to the moon. That's a Saturn 1.
You see, I told you.
Sorry, I've got full nerd now.
Yes, but this is a big thing they got displayed here, bro. This is huge, gigantic.
And that's a little one compared to the Saturn V. If you put the two next to each other, you'd realise just how big the Saturn V really was. Just absolutely massive.
And
then I thought that was just a film with Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett.
Then I'm sharing this one. It's like I don't know what this is. Like a small rocket. I mean, compared to some people walking next to it, it's not that big.
I'm not sure about that one. Is that an early Delta? No, because this will still be at Kennedy, won't it? See, look, that's the Saturn one in the background. Is that an early Delta? I'm not sure. That's not sure what that one is.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, it's cool, but yes, that's teeny tiny compared to the big boys. Well, it's still a fair lump, though. You know, you can see it's still quite tall, but.
And then the last one.
That's a UAL. That's a ULA Delta.
And what was it? What did they build it for, or something like that?
Satellites. I had a funny feeling that was an early Delta because they've still been using, you know, the ultimate version of that, the Delta 4, which is much bigger.
But I know that the strongest force on Earth is the Delta Force with Chuck Norris. So don't
Oh,
come
gotcha.
messing with the Delta Force, you know.
I have to say it's the SAS and Who Dares Wins.
Big shout out to John Rapp. Endeavour. Totally forgot about Endeavour. Enterprise, Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour.
Endeavor. How about this
Thanks,
one then?
John.
This looked like a capsule thingy.
That's a Gemini. You can tell that because the first American capsule was Mercury, which is a single seater, and then the Gemini program, clues in the name, Gemini, the twins, was a 2-man capsule, and that's where they tested everything they knew they had to do in Apollo, like they had to be able to maneuver up to another rocket or section of a rocket. They had to be able to dock the rockets. Everything that they knew they had to do in the Apollo program, they tried out, practiced, and rehearsed in the Gemini program. And most of the Gemini astronauts went on to be Apollo astronauts. Buzz Aldrin flew, I think, the last Gemini mission. Neil Armstrong was in a Gemini mission, and so on and so forth. But yeah, that's the 2-man Gemini capsule. Very snug.
Uh-oh.
No.
I got unmuted him for a bit. Server muted Fred. He was watching TV too loud. He was watching TV too loud over there.
Somebody were very happy.
I'm gonna mute myself because I don't want to be watching the same programming here. Hold on.
Just on the Gemini thing, I find that quite funny because obviously we're on Discord. Castor and Pollux were the Gemini twins, and they were called the Discoursi.
Oh, well done. I like it.
There you go.
Cool.
That was a Delta II rocket, by the way, and it was launched 155 times.
No.
And yeah, mainly for satellite launches.
Yeah, it looked like a Delta, but just much smaller than the Delta 4s that I think they're still using.
Well, they started sticking on more boosters around the outside.
Yes.
So this is a later iteration.
And they got bigger.
Shout out to Hold On. Cece's wife is on the list. That's beautiful comment.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh. That's foolish now. Foolish. Mute yourself.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise there's any noise coming through. Shouldn't be.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's usually Fred himself who's making all the noise, not
A little bit hungry. I'm about to wrap it up. We're here for, I don't know, an hour and a half. That's good. I'll stay a little bit longer. There's a lot of people here, guys. If anybody want to jump in, you got any thoughts, comments, concerns, go ahead, man. I'll stay here. If it gets fiery, if it gets exciting, I'll let it roll and roll. But it's up to you, to Brian Mavitt now to bring the heat. And Gary, are you Gary? That's questionable. He's here too.
Gary's.
Gary is in the call. There's a handful of people and also lots of Garys here today.
I think the R's are unnecessary.
What do you mean, bring the heat?
Bring the heat. Bring a real argument over here to see how they gonna cope with it, Brian. See what you got. Or maybe question them what they have.
They got fuck all. I don't know, Southern.
Well, we know that engines redline on an RPM and not miles per hour.
That's true.
Yeah.
Brian, you posted a few pictures on a car that look CGI to me.
Fuck off. Don't use that.
CG.
Look, we're gonna show a picture over here that Brian Mavitt posted earlier. And you guys tell me if this is in CGI. There you go, it's up. I got it up for YouTube. There's a white car. He's standing with a trophy and a lady on his side. It looks CGI to me. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Where?
Oh yeah.
I'm sharing it on YouTube.
Oh, I've just shut that down. Hold on.
Right.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Looks CGI to me.
Fuck off.
Clearly, yeah. Must be.
And then this one looks so old school that I don't even believe this is.
I can go and get you the trophy. Where you put the trophy? For the...
Oh, it's too easy, isn't it?
She has it pride of place. She puts it in the fucking back toilet.
This one, I don't even. Is this you? It looks like you, but I don't know, man. This
Yeah,
might be manipulated.
That's from my old saloon stock days.
Oh, do you had a hair salon?
Yeah.
How old are you then?
How old was I then, Susan? There, in that one. Must have been, mustn't it?
I'm guessing that's got to be mid to early 80s. Guess.
Yeah.
Looking at the rather interesting haircut, car, rear spoiler.
Let's say you're in your mid-20s, right? 25 to 30 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
Brian's got a good decade on me. I know that much.
RT96 is telling me a good point. He say, all pictures are distorted.
No.
Does RT96 sound like that? I suppose he does, yeah. Fred's making wild, outlandish claims again as well.
After he said right, there's not much that Fred said that's really interesting.
Ooh, that was nasty. True, but nasty.
Hey, Fred, what was all the shouting about?
Now, this picture that I'm going to share is more, if more of a modern one, because you look a lot older in this one, Brian. Like chilling next to a car.
Yeah, that was my 60th birthday present my son got me.
What, the cat?
Nice.
No, he entered me into a race at Donington.
Oh, right. God, I've been to Donny in years.
Brian, when you met Farmer's Boy, were you in some kind of a little park, plaza, or was there a sidewalk? And second part of the question, do you guys held hands and skip at least half a mile, skipping like along the sidewalk, holding hands? I would like to see that video of that.
Jose, we're getting a scroll bar up in the middle of the picture on YouTube for some unknown reason.
Scroll
Oh,
bar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so we are.
What?
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
hell? Where does that come from?
I don't know.
Hell?
Some of you're doing, Jose.
I'll
Some
fix that.
setting.
Hold on, I'll fix that. That just came up, right?
It's in the middle of the image somehow.
Shit, I know.
It's the window that's showing the YouTube side comments, isn't it?
Oh, right.
That's what it is.
And the rest is transparent.
I'm guessing so, but the actual the sort of the bar that you get down the side of the comments isn't transparent.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know. Well, all I can say is actually this time we did actually meet up at the right cafe, which helped.
There you go.
Rather than sitting several miles apart at different bloody cafes, going, what the bloody hell is he?
Yeah, that's the one that you're moving.
Yeah, I moved it around a little bit. I mean, it's the name list or whatever. I'll fix it up. It's a troll bar. It's not a scroll bar. It's a troll bar.
Can't you just narrow the box down? So it'd be
Yeah,
all right on the left-hand side.
nah, it's all right. Because I just set that up like in the middle of the show. I gotta sit down later and try to, adjust it better and do it. I don't want to mess with it too much, but it's okay. I mean, we can see the gist of it. It's a little bit violated with the chat box popping in and the list of names on the side, but at least we see the majority of the picture. Really good.
Yes, RT96. Scroll responsibly.
Yeah, damn troll bar pub show up out of nowhere.
Oh dear. No, there was no skipping. Let me make that quite clear. There was no holding hands and no skipping.
Damn it! Why, bro? That would be so cool, bro. If anybody come over here to visit me, and I didn't do it the time that I met C4, the 2 times that I met C4, I didn't do that. But next time that I come in, dude, I'm gonna set up a camera. I say like, all right, we'll walk all the way over there, and we will just approach the camera, just holding hands and skipping. That's beautiful. I will do that to whoever coming to visit me. We will be holding hands and we'll be skipping. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
but
that be something cool? Sorry, Brian, go ahead, man.
With the COVID restrictions, I don't think it was allowed.
No. Probably
No.
not. Probably for the best.
We were busy. I literally just had to fly down there. He done me a great favour, because other than that, mind you, having said that, they couldn't go on the dyno anyway, so we rushed our nuts off. And
Look, isn't that always the case though?
no,
We drop everything, hurry, and then no.
they're going on tomorrow now. I've got to shoot up there in the morning.
Well, I got a question from Earth is Life. Maybe we'll go around, everybody a quick question. But first, Brian Babbitt. Question for, he says all flat earthers, but I'm gonna leave it broader terms. A question for the non-globe believers, right? Do all globe believers, question, I'll start the question. Do all globers believe Earth is a globe despite the evidence? If so, what evidence?
Do all globe you're asking me if all globe believers believe it's a globe without evidence? Is that what you're saying?
Despite the evidence.
Do all globes believe Earth is a globe despite the evidence? If so, what evidence?
Despite the evidence to the contrary.
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
I presume that's what he's inferring.
I can only imagine, yeah. They turn their senses, ears, eyes off if it doesn't fit their narrative. But I mean, I can't really answer for them. You'd have to ask them.
But what would you think? Put yourself in our shoes for a minute.
What do you mean, our shoes?
In my shoes, as a globe, as a glober, as a baller.
If I was in your shoes, I'd jump straight back on the flat Earth if I was you.
Why would I do that?
Because it's reality.
But there's no lots of evidence to back it up, unless you say it looks flat, I don't feel it moving, and water, I just believe that level equals horizontal. That's kind of the broad stroke of it.
That's all you need, mate. Boring as fuck, I know, but that's reality. They spice it up with all this other shit to keep this lot. I can only call it brainwash.
Again, a question I've asked many times, Brian. Who
is the reality?
Who is they?
Yours and my controllers.
Yeah, that's still they.
Oh. We don't know them, do we? It's not.
So how do you know what they're doing? Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
What do you mean? How do I know they do it? It's obvious.
And what have they ever?
That's like saying.
What have they ever prevented you from doing?
Nose on your face. You know.
What have you ever been prevented from doing?
I've never said I've been prevented from doing anything. I'm saying they're keeping.
Then how are they controlling you?
They're keeping you in this fictitious fucking thing they've come up with.
Well, you don't know that.
Yes, I do.
Because you've never been
But
prevented.
you don't
from
know
doing
who they
anything.
are, and you don't know what they're doing, and you don't know what their agenda is. So you're at best
never been
making
prevented from
a
doing
guess.
anything.
One at a time, guys. One at a time.
Sorry.
I couldn't hear what you were saying. There's
And
two
you've
of
never
you.
been prevented from doing anything.
Who said I've been prevented from doing anything? I never said that.
Well, if you're
If
being
you have
controlled,
controllers.
if you're being controlled, you're being prevented from doing things out of your control.
Great point.
Like what? What have they ever prevented me from doing? Well, having said
How
that,
do they control you, Brian?
they're not controlling me now. I've jumped off their fucking roundabout and I see things for what they are. You
Cool.
can't.
And
You're too endeared in what you've got too much invested in this. You can't
But
do it.
couldn't I reverse that argument and say, actually, no, you're now being controlled because you've now swallowed this flat Earth lie,
No, I
and you
haven't.
have these controllers that are now controlling your thoughts and feeding you the right information to output. I can make an easily similar argument with zero justification apart from to say this is the way it is, and it has zero validity, Brian. That's the problem with what you're saying.
Nobody is controlling me. Nobody.
Well, that's what you say. Nobody's
Why am I
controlling me,
an idiot?
Brian.
If I'm controlled by all the
Well, how would you know?
leaders of the fucking flat Earth, I
It's
don't
indoctrination,
How
Brian.
would you know
It's
if you're being
all the
controlled?
time. I very, very seldom fucking go
Brian,
into
how-
any of their discords ever, because we're singing from the same hymn sheet. So what is there to fucking go and fucking talk about? The truth.
Brian, how
is
would you know if you're being
in front of
controlled?
your face. Water cannot maintain a curve. Never has, never will.
Except that
But they
He's
have
back in the
So
dialogue
why
of the
does-
controllers.
they have convinced you it can.
why does water
They've
form a
also
ball?
convinced you a straight line
Why
is
does-
fucking bent. Now, how they have done that? Because
Why does
most
water
of you, I
form a ball
wouldn't
in
say
zero
all of
gravity?
you, there are
Hold on.
some of you that are not overly intelligent, but most of you are highly fucking intelligent beings, and you have been convinced a straight line bends.
All right, Brian, 1 second. 1 second. Let's Steve Rorino.
Right.
He's trying to ask a question in between, or maybe say a comment in between. So
I was just curious. How does water form a ball then in zero gravity?
Oh, I've got him turned down. That's why I can't hear. Say it again. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I can hear you now.
In zero
Sorry.
gravity, water will. I'm sorry. In zero gravity, water will collect. It will form a ball. It will move together and form a ball.
Where's zero gravity? Where have you been that you've seen that?
Oh my God. We see it on the ISS.
On the ISS. So you've been to the ISS and seen that, have you? Or could it be a camera trick? Did you see that?
Why don't we
doll?
put something up and then we can judge it?
No.
I've got a great example of this.
Did you see
1
the
second,
doll
Brian.
appear from nowhere? And she plucked it out
So
of
what,
the air
so
and
what
played
we're
with
actually
it.
discussing. So what we're actually discussing then is your ability to determine fact from fiction.
Or your ability, maybe. You know, I know that doll didn't appear from nowhere. I know that.
Well, there is video
Materialising
of it
things just does not
appearing.
happen. Now, you've got to get your fucking head round it that they are deceiving you. And
So
they
again, you're
will
making-
find
Let me ask you
a
this.
known method to do it.
Let me ask you this. Of all the pictures of all the planets you've seen in any photograph or any image, are any flat?
I don't know what they are. I were told they are distant planets. I do not believe that now.
What you've seen with your eyes through the telescope or through photos of space, have you seen any planets that are not spherical?
We see lights in the skies, yes, that's all I will agree with. Now, whether
they
them lights
spherical?
are a flat array or whether it is a spherical object, I do not know.
Well, no, you do know because you've not
No.
seen one that is not spherical.
How do you know?
I just
How do
asked
you
you.
know what you're looking at? When you look at the moon, which is allegedly lit from the sun, you should have a specular highlight, shouldn't you? You don't. It's
When I look at
perfectly
the
lit
moon,
from
I
one
can see
edge
the
to
shadow
the
cast.
other,
I can
and
see
there
the
is
craters
no,
on the moon casting shadows on themselves. So I
there is
know it's a sphere,
no
and I know it's a
specular
hard surface.
highlight. So it is not illuminated from another source.
It is most definitely illuminated from another source. It is
Then
not
where is your
self-illuminating.
specular highlight of your curved surface?
I'm not understanding your question.
Shine a torch onto a ball and you will see a specular highlight.
Can somebody interpret his specular highlight?
So I've just thrown up a paper in there that describes exactly what he's talking about and what they've actually detected so far. So again, Brian, sorry, you're a bit out of date.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't view it in Zoom for some reason. I can't see what's going on.
Yeah, for fuck's
So
sake.
I like to stick with the controller thing because his whole argument is revolving around the fact that we're being controlled. He knows that he was being controlled. He's rejected these controllers, but he's got a problem really identifying how he determined that, apart from making his own personal biased decision, to then make a change towards another explanation. Well, a lack of explanation. Let's call it that. I think the controller thing is really interesting.
There is a specular highlight from
And do you think that
light source.
Yeah, but don't you
not
think
ever see that on the moon?
Yeah, Brian.
You do not
so
get this shadowing towards the edges as the surface drops away from the
Brian,
light source. It is
The moon is
not
not a ping pong ball. It won't have a
they have
specular
told
highlight.
you.
there is a very faint specular highlight, but obviously because of the size of the sun and the amount of light hitting the moon, it's hard to detect. So you need,
But it is
you know,
not
you need
highly refractive like he would
no,
like to
and
think.
that was
Not
exactly the next point.
Reflective,
That was that was exactly the point I was going to go for. You know, what's the albedo of the moon? Because it's pretty low.
Oh, it's extremely low.
It is. But it reflects back 238,000 miles, and we can read we can read a paper by it out in the moonlight. So it's not that reflective now.
You can't.
Geez, if only the light source were big enough to cause that. Oh, wait.
On a clear night, you can read the paper by the moonlight.
I doubt you've ever done that, Brian. I doubt I could read I could read paper by moonlight. And I spend quite a lot of time at night, outside at night.
And utter nonsense.
I
Anyway,
don't know where Brian stands. Do you think the moon is self-illuminating?
Please. Next question.
He doesn't know.
Oh, so he has no opinion on if the moon is self-illuminating.
Again, if you kind of backtrack, it'll go back to I don't know.
Well, that's an honest answer.
You don't know. You just think you know.
We know.
You've had your head filled with shit, and you think what you know, what you think you know, is real. It's not. It's complete utter fucking nonsense.
So, what do I observe when I look through my telescope and I see the surface of the moon?
I'll tell you what to do with your telescope. Throw the fucking thing away because you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah, Brian, you did. You put it in the boot of my fucking car.
Exactly. That's
Yes. It's bloody useless. I can see why you want to get rid of it.
That was just what
I've got a little telescope, and it's nothing mega.
There's a 7.
It's a Newtonian. I'm in the middle of a sentence. It's a Newtonian reflector, and I can see details on the moon really clearly. You know, to me, it looks like a solid surface. I see shadows being cast upon it, as Steve Barino said earlier. You know, these are things that I've observed many, many times in my life.
Not only that, you can see its own craters casting shadows upon itself.
Yeah.
That's not something a self-illuminating, light illuminating source can do to itself.
So that's why I think, you know, I have reasons not to follow your logic, he said generously. Power over Ethernet, or a Poe is someone who pretends to be something he isn't. That was to Luke's in chat.
Yes.
Brian, do you say I need to get rid of my glasses because I don't know what I'm looking at?
He's on mute at the moment. He may have been taking another call.
Are you
Or he's having
sharing? Let me share your screen, Stingray.
Exactly.
I'll watch Stingray's stream.
I love this. I love this photograph because this. There is no way the Earth could possibly be flat, having a full angular size sunset like this.
Yeah. Difference between Stingray and me is I put all this shit together and make it work. Stingray actually uses it for some benefit and purpose, and probably knows a fair amount of what I do as well.
Yeah, I actually got Stingray screen share up for YouTube to see. But you're muted, Stingray, if you want to say something.
No, it was just about what Brian was saying. Like just these pointless, non-contextual, diversionary examples. I can prove to you that the Earth is not a globe if I use a hot dog. Yeah,
well,
and argue for the fact that because a hot dog has got looks nothing like the Earth, but it has to be in context. If you want to test something, really, really test it. When you build a model for it and check out the predictions, it matches reality exactly. There's no ambiguity. It works 100% of the time, all the time, everywhere.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Oh, Dross, have you seen? I've got another example here. Have you seen this one? And it's free to anybody to use as well. So what this is, using only 3 pieces of data, only 3, time, as in give me the month as well, the size and distances, and that's it. I don't give a crap about anything else. Not theodolite readings, not anything else. Just give me the axial tilt of the Earth, give me what month you're in, and give me your position. And I will show you the path of the sun.
Oh, nice.
From here all the way away. So this is what we get at the moment where I am, Milton Keynes. Like, not a lot of sun at all. It like goes to, each one of these represents 5 degrees. So I'm just like over 20 degrees up in the air. It's terrible. But yes, but it works for anywhere. And I've challenged flat earthers, please come along. Please tell me where you are. I'll tell you where the sun's going to rise and that. This isn't based on maths. I use no maths to do this. I just use the distances and sizes of things. It is not mathematical. This is the same as building, if I had the space, a physical model of what they tell me the sun and the earth are in relation to size and distance. And I can place this observer in any lat long around the planet and tell you what the sun's path through the sky is on any day of the year, give or take half a degree, because I haven't put days in for this. So where are we at the moment? So if I, oh my god, yeah, we're actually about there now. But I mean, I'm doing that approximately. But yes, there you go. And I'd love Brian to tell me how this doesn't work somewhere, because it works everywhere. Whereas on the sort of like interloper that's down at the bottom, which is there, that lovely little disc thing, it just doesn't work anywhere. It really doesn't. And even at the North Pole, it's hard to get it to work because of the axial tilt. So if, you know, from a very loose observational sense, you could classify it as behaving the same. But if you were to track its trajectory through the sky, even on a flat Earth, it still would not match because of the axial tilt, which you can't replicate. So yeah, there you go, Brian. I'd love for you to help me out with this.
For those who doesn't know, streaming live on YouTube. There are 44 people watching. And I don't know, Lux was aware that this is the Jose JG Boom is the channel. If everybody is subscribed to Jose JG, you are good. But if you are unaware that my main previous channel is gone, everything disappeared, this is a brand new channel with under 500 subscribers. So if you are not subscribed, please make sure that you are subscribed to the Jose JG Boom channel and share the show. Boom.
Have you finished now?
Yeah, that's a shameless plug. Oh, about me, I was telling you, Brian Mavitt, that there's a PayPal link for you to support. If you want to give me money, there's a PayPal link over there.
Right off.
Thanks, man.
Brian, can I ask you a question?
No. Did you say there was no maths in that, Stingray?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said I used no maths in it, correct, yes.
Does the software use any mathematical calculation?
The computer is based off transistors that have two states in binary. There is such a thing as binary math. So yes, everything on a computer uses maths, but to put together this model, it is physical and distance based. That's it.
That's all I wanted to ask.
It's weird how it works everywhere all the time. No matter where you are, it tells you sunrise, sunset, and the path through the sky. How weird is that? Coincidental, right?
Completely agree with you, mate. Completely. They've done a marvellous job. Except
all I did is I created a sphere and I put 96 million mile away sun at the size that it is, and it just worked. It's not maths. That's like me playing. I could do the same thing with ball bearings. It'd be impractical.
Marvellous. You're just forgetting two fucking things. One, water cannot conform to a curve. And two, there is no rotation. Now, work them into your
nothing that says water cannot conform to a curve.
And then you might come up with something.
Just 2 seconds, Gary. Just 2 seconds, because I placed it approximately, central England at the moment. And if you look at the right-hand screen here, we're actually in late December, which I've got it set to. And this is the path of the sun through the sky, if we look at that on that right view. The only way the sun isn't moving there. I'm rotating the damn planet in what they say it rotates like with 23.5 axial tilt. And it matches the sun through my sky in Milton Keynes exactly.
Amazing. They've done a good job of modelling a flat plane onto a curve. I agree with you. Now, work into your thinking that water cannot conform to the exterior of a curve and that there is no rotation, and then see what you get.
Oh, no.
Stingray created this entire model.
Critical factors that somehow you seem to forget.
Right, so first of all, on the water conforming to a surface, it conforms to the force of gravity. In our model,
no such thing as gravity. Even your own people say that.
Really quickly, let me finish. Really quickly. The force of gravity, not gravity, the force of gravity, as in the apparent thing from space-time. The force of gravity causes the water to conform to the surface because water is a very conformy type substance. And the best shape for a gravitational body to take, the most efficient, is a sphere. I welcome you to planet Earth.
Then that should be measurable, shouldn't it?
And it is.
And it is.
And there is no curvature to water.
And Brian,
the
force of gravity
to water.
Brian, we can actually measure gravity at the local level. There are instruments that do that.
There is no curvature to the surface.
Finish your point without you ever talking to me. You're acting like a cunt, mate. Stop it.
I am trying to get you out of this mind control they're doing to you.
I can't deal with that. I really can't, Brian. I'm sorry.
Who has a
Let me know.
photo of the windmills over on the ocean's horizon? Who has that photo?
Oh, I can
Oh, the
pull it up.
turbines.
Turbines. I'm sorry.
I have to keep up the times. Windmills are of a different age.
Yeah, yeah. That's
We
my
all
62 years
know
going.
categorically if water is on a slope or a curving surface, which is only a slope that exponentially increases,
Really?
it flows.
It
The
exponentially
slowest
Water
flowing
is
increases.
subject
river
to
drops 2 meters
water.
in 1,000 miles, and it flows
Water is
over
subject
2
to the
meters in
forces working
1,000
upon it.
miles. You
Water
cannot
is subject to the
possibly
forces
be
working upon
living
it.
on what
Steve,
they have told you.
Steve, hold on.
Now,
Let me
this
try.
will stick in your head, and hopefully, you'll go to bed and think about it tonight.
Brian, let me try to. I got a request for the Stingray because you got this graphic up. Earth is Live is asking if you can match a sunset from Hawaii on December the 13th at 5:50 p.m. I don't know. Stingray to match this sunset, and he shared a link. But this sunset is from Hawaii on December 13th at 5:50 p.m. That's it. That's all I needed to say. And guys, Brian is interrupting Steve. Steve is interrupting Brian. Foolish decision. Safe. We gotta learn how to make our statements and then give break to the other person to make their points and back and forth. Talk like adults instead of like continuously talking and interrupting. Boom.
I'm really trying, Jose.
Yeah, my apology. There's a little bit of a lag, so when I hear a break, it's not really a break.
It's why I've been sort of like trying to give you the mic when you start talking, because I realise there's some lag. I can hear it.
No, I think what caught my attention earlier on was Brian making the claim that there could be no propulsion in space.
No, there can't be, no.
Okay, so let me ask just a simple question. If you're sitting in a chair that has wheels and you're on a hardwood floor and you're holding a ball in your hand and you push the ball away from you and the chair moves in the other direction, what causes that chair to move?
The mass of the ball.
The mass of the ball, what?
You're reacting to the mass of the ball. Unfortunately for you, in space, nothing has got weight, so there is no mass to push out the back. Nothing
mass of the
weighs
ball-
anything.
I
Do
could
you
push
understand
I
this?
could push away a basketball and that chair would move. I could
Because
throw a
it has got
baseball and that chair would
mass.
move.
The basketball has got mass. You're pushing the face of the basketball is also being restricted by the air that is around it. So you will get a reaction.
So is it the fact that you're pushing off the bowling ball that moves the chair back, or is it the fact that the bowling ball's pushing off the air that's moving you back? What's your claim, Brad?
I'm not making a claim. I'm
Well,
making
you are.
no
You're
claim
saying you're saying that this
He's
doesn't
making the
work
claim
because no, you're saying this doesn't work because, and then you've given us your explanation. So I'm asking for a clarification point on your claim, which is quite simply, is it that me pushing off that bowling ball, the inertia of me throwing that bowling ball away, that's moving me backwards, or is it the bowling ball pushing off the air that's moving me backwards?
I would imagine it's mainly the mass of the bowling ball that you're trying to change its state from rest to acceleration. You are always going to get an opposite effect, just like the recoil on a gun.
Yeah, and can you tell me where? Can you tell me where in the maths that we use and the observations that we use to actually demonstrate and calculate this, where weight is the requirement and not mass? Because in every calculation I know of, it's the mass of the object that we're concerned with, not the weight.
Right. How do you calculate mass? Do you want me to Google it and show you? You weigh things. Thank you. I rest my
No,
case.
no. I'm waiting for you to actually respond to my point rather than ask me a question.
Well, I've just responded to you.
No, you've
mass
answered a question
weighing
with a question.
something. You calculate mass by weighing it.
Do you think that's how you calculate mass? Is by weighing it?
That is
the only way to do it?
exactly how. Do you want me to get the Google fucking description of calculating mass?
And what I expect it will be is it will be the amount of force required to move an object is how we calculate its mass.
You weigh something to calculate its mass.
Weight is the gravitational pull on that mass.
There's no gravitation in space, is there?
Doesn't matter. You still got the mass, Brian, and you still need to move the mass.
Don't they?
You still have the mass, and that's what you're
Floats in
missing.
space. It's got no weight. It's got no mass. So whether you're throwing a bowling ball or a fucking basketball, you are not going to get the same effect that you got where that object did weigh something and had mass.
Brian, here's
It's the
50.
reason the rocket propels.
They are lying to you.
Yeah, that's your claim. So, Brian, there's a 50-second GCSE revisionary on chemistry about reacting masses and calculations. So that's one of the methods we use to look at the mass. That's working out what we're going to get after we do a reaction. Which is showing you one different way of doing it, which doesn't require a set of scales.
I won't repeat it again. They have lied to you. You are in some sort of mind fuck where they have destroyed your common sense.
You can keep
mass
repeating
equals.
that to prove your claim.
Yeah,
What?
mass equals the density times the volume, doesn't it?
Earth is supposed to weigh trillions and trillions and trillions of fucking tons, yet it's hovering in nothing.
Yeah, well, what's the force you think that's going to pull it in a direction?
Support all
It's
our
not hovering.
fucking planetary bodies, the
Yeah,
sun,
it's moving.
the moon, and in this galactic plane? What is supporting them?
What's supporting the flat Earth in your model?
We know to be neutrally buoyant, you must be in a medium that supports your mass. Don't
Brian,
you?
what medium is the flat Earth in?
Talking about the flat Earth, we are ripping apart this ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm now asking
of
for
a
your
fucking
justification.
globe floating in the middle of fucking nothing that weighs trillions and trillions and trillions of tons. Yet
So,
it just
again-
floats there without being supported. It is fucking ludicrous.
Cool. Okay, so that's your claim. So I'm now asking you a question. You're a flat earther, are you?
I'm not a flat earther. Earth is not. It is obviously not fucking flat.
He's a flat earther.
Hills and
Okay,
valleys.
so you're just really a globe denier then?
The nonsense they have fucking pushed into our heads, I do not fucking believe. It is bullshit.
So you're a globe denier. It's a very simple yes or no kind of question. And it's not loaded in any way.
I would say not just the globe, everything they've ever fucking told us. What's water? Water is supposed to be fucking oxygen and hydrogen. Yet
It's
when it
water.
turns into a fucking gas, a gas, mind ya, they call water gas, that's not got oxygen and hydrogen in it.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it has.
No, it don't. 'cause
I
it
can
goes
do a very
fucking
simple chemical reaction or an electrical reaction, and I can strip the oxygen from the hydrogen, and I can demonstrate the existence of both.
Yes, but you put a tray of water out and it evaporates.
Mm.
Where has that fucking hydrogen and oxygen gone?
It's gone in as it's a molecule, so it's the same way as that. If I feed you
Hello?
sodium,
It's
let me finish my point, Brian. I'm in the middle of a fucking sentence again. Stop it. It's the same way as I can feed you sodium and you will die. I can feed you chlorine and you will die. If I feed you sodium chloride, you will live. the basic fucking understanding of what chemistry is about and how chemicals bond and form. That's a stupid argument, Brian. Stupid. You're better than that. He said
No,
generously.
because I just thought it just evaporates into its elements, which were oxygen.
Why do you think that?
Why wouldn't it?
So when I burn something, when I burn something like wood, why don't I just get the chemical elements of it? Why do I get the carbon dioxide, the carbon monoxide? When you burn petrol out of an engine, why are you getting carbon monoxide out of that engine?
Is that in petrol to start with?
Yeah.
Then it's coming out of.
So why isn't it breaking down into its elemental properties? Because you're basically obliterating it with through an explosion, combustion, and surely in the same way as if water just by the evaporation process should break its molecular bonds. When I'm putting so much more force in the combustion mechanism, why isn't it breaking it down into its element components and not into to compounds and molecular gases? So this is the problem, Brian. You're talking about shit that you really have no clue about and trying to sound like you have an idea, and you really do not.
I don't ever say I know what, is what it is. What I'm saying is what I've been told is water is made of hydrogen and oxygen.
Cool.
Now,
What's petrol made of?
I've made some brown gas hydrogen cells, and I have cracked water into hydrogen and oxygen. So I know there is hydrogen and oxygen in there. But when water evaporates into gas, it's called water gas.
Yeah. And what are you doing different when you're doing a Brown's gas reaction? You're doing exactly what I was describing by stripping the oxygen and hydrogen away from each other to have separate gases. And we do that through electrolysis. You require electricity to run a Brown's gas generator, don't you?
Well, apparently not now. They reckon they can do it with harmonics as well, but I haven't seen that.
Well, let's stick to what you've done, not what you haven't done, because you haven't been to the ISS and neither have I. So, let's stick to what stuff we know about and stuff we've actually practically done. So therefore, that you can use a mechanism to break those bonds, but it seems to be that evaporation doesn't do that. So now we can say, what's the difference? What are we doing different in that brown gas generator that's not being reflected just by heating a gas? What extra things are we doing? And then you might actually get to some answers, or at least a decent answer, which you can then start to see if that answer is actually correct or not. But screaming at people and saying, this is the case, well, this should be the way it is just really annoying.
Breathe in water.
Sorry?
Fish breathe the oxygenated water.
Yeah, which isn't part of the H2O part of the water, because you can have water that is oxygen depleted. So the Black Sea is a great example of that. First sort of 30 or 50 meters fish can live in. Anything below that, fish die, because there's not enough oxygen in the water. It's not that oxygen is combining. The difference between making a solution and what the other one is, which isn't a solution. So it's a bit like mixing salt.
I just want to say that in Christmas, I was wearing jeans. I was wearing a short shirt, and I had a tie, and I was wearing my hat. Just wear the tie. Just saying, rocking the Florida ridiculous look.
He's got his Sunday best on. He's trying to say.
Hey man, I was rocking it. I was killing it.
I like your family, Jose. They make you look tall.
Yeah, right. All of them. I look fat, bro. I look fat in the first picture I posted that I'm kneeling down. Fucking hey, I got a big belly. Holy shit.
Oh man, you're really becoming an American.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Don't worry, after this Christmas, I'll probably be able to pass for an American. Eat way too much crap.
For those questioning, what the fuck is? Posted a few pictures of my family on Discord. So you want to see it? Join Discord.
This is Discord only content. You must subscribe to the channel and then join the Discord.
Indeed, very well said.
I mean, the trouble is, Brian, it's easy to say, oh, this is all rubbish, this is all crap, this is all whatever. And then say, well, this doesn't do that, this doesn't do this, which are all things you personally haven't really tested. And that's where we always come to the dividing point. Because, yeah, great, you're entitled to your opinion, Brian. I've never said you can't have your opinion. But when you want to tell me what is correct in the world, you're going to have to fucking prove it. You have to demonstrate it. The same way as we've been putting up evidence to support the points that we've been making. Rather than just sort of like, oh, no, it can't be that. That's not possible. And then just use a string of big numbers. Great, there are big numbers in the world. We calculate some big figures.
I just hope you're happy with what you're doing.
Very.
Because you are propagating this lie for them. And
Well, you haven't demonstrated it's a lie, and I don't think it's a lie.
Water cannot bend, has never been known to bend. If it is on a bent surface, it flows. It is
again
nonsense.
You're ignoring the fact that we invoke
are upside down to you on a sphere is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So on the globe model, what direction is down?
Beyond fucking ridiculousness.
On a globe model, what direction is down? How do we change altitude?
There is no globe model. Water lies flat when it's stationary. There is no fucking globe. What it is, I do not know. But it definitely is not a spinning fucking ball.
So we have a description of the planet.
If it's not a globe, then why are there tides? Why are there tides if it's not a globe?
Not interested in tides. We want to find the spin and the curvature for your ridiculous assumption that it is a ball. There is no spin, else planes would never be able to get where they're fucking going. There is no curvature, because if there was, water would flow, wouldn't it? As it's proved by all the rivers on Earth. It is
Why do competitive long distance shooters account for the Coriolis?
Into your brain. It is fucking lunacy.
So based on your ignorance, and I'm not using that as a pejorative, based on your ignorance of science, you can make these claims.
Common fucking sense. Water flows on a slope, doesn't it?
Slope is a change of elevation, Brian. We're not talking about a change of elevation. We're talking about the same elevation, which is why I asked you what down was earlier, which you totally ignored and then started to speak over me.
Water is subject to the forces acting upon it.
Water flows on a slope, doesn't it?
Water is subject to the forces acting upon it.
Get it in your fucking head.
Yell it loud.
Brian, you
were
asked.
Will never be able to go where
We
it's
had,
fucking
Brian.
going.
We had. Don't need to repeat it.
He wants to ignore the question, that's why.
He's going away from it faster than it's fucking traveling. It is fucking lunacy.
No, it's not.
Based
So,
on your
Brian,
ignorance of science, you can make that claim.
Absolute fucking lunacy.
Brian, you were asked something about tides.
I'm not
So what do you
interested
think?
in fucking tides.
You need
no.
It's directly address your claim because you
My
say
claim is water does not fucking.
I know what your claim is, Brian.
Curve.
Yeah,
it is physically impossible to form a curve and maintain that curve.
Brian,
physically impossible. But you lot, fucking, how they've done it to your fucking common sense, I don't know. Believe it does.
Brian, time to relax. Listen. So you have tides. You can deny tides. So what do you think? The water in around all Earth rise and then sink, Or maybe waterfall subpart move to another part, which must be now higher than the other part. And then your
Stingray,
water
I'm gonna
on the
stop screen
slope.
sharing you, all right? I'm gonna stop screen sharing you. Maybe people are gonna keep watching your screen share, but I'm gonna stop screen sharing you for you. Thank you, brother. Carry on, guys.
I will say it again.
Look, Brian, if
Cannot form and maintain a curve. Physically impossible. That they have fucking brainwashed you into believing. A plane could not fly over a moving surface and get where its destination is. If the destination is moving away from it twice as fast as it's fucking flying. It is lunacy.
Brian, you think
Now, what they have done to take that out of your fucking thinking, I don't know. But I've got to tip my hat to them.
what's a flywheel for on an engine, Brian?
Not talking about engines. We're talking about this ridiculous fucking notion that you believe you live on a spinning fucking ball.
You do not understand
It is
conservation
fucking
of momentum.
ridiculous. Absolutely
Then explain the
fucking
season.
ridiculous.
Then explain the
It is
season.
the most ridiculous thing I have
Every time that
ever
Brian
fucking
talks,
heard in my life.
I'm gonna squeak the
Then
earth.
explain the
Let's see how it
seasons.
There is no curvature. There is no spin. Water cannot conform to the exterior of a ball and maintain a curve. It is ludicrous what they have told you.
The one problem I've got with one of Brian's points is, say, if water's on a slope, it'll flow down the slope, which I totally agree. The problem I've got with this example is a slope, by definition, is a change in elevation. And elevation is what we're really discussing here. And this is why his argument is totally shit. Anyway, I need to go and do some stuff with my kids, so I will bid you a good evening, and thank you for an interesting, somewhat challenging chat.
Thank you very much, Dross. You're the man, bro.
That easy, dude.
Appreciate it. I did a test on Squeaky Earth. You guys didn't hear the Squeaky. You're
No,
gonna
we
hear it
didn't hear
now. But the audience heard it. So let me do the Squeaky Earth just for you. Discord, here we go. Earth came second place on What is Earth? Very close, second place. Earth as a sphere, it won. Shout out to the troll number 1, and I also have a troll number 2. He's right here. Shout out to troll number 2. But troll number 1 is watching you. You guys don't see it, but YouTube does. Boom! I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do a round of. We're gonna get out of here, man. It's been a little bit. It's been a fun, entertaining show. I got the only negative criticism that I received today is from Larry DeMarsh. He came in hot, and Larry DeMarsh popped in YouTube chat. And by the way, welcome Larry DeMarsh to the Boom channel. You are new. I am also new. Larry DeMarsh say, Brian has opinions. The rest of us have data and evidence. He is nothing but a lying little troll. He's ruining the show. I'm leaving again. He's ruining the show. Oh, I thought he said he's running the show. Because I said, hey, have fun, man. Have fun, Larry. And I am running the show, a successful one. Brian is not ruining the show because I'm running the show. And Brian had the green light to make it more entertaining, and it was a total success. And I thank you for your patience, guys, for allowing it to be fun, and hanging in there with me. Fred, the even more magnificent. You're still here? Give us some final thoughts.
Well, I quite enjoyed today. I actually did enjoy the shouting. Stupid as it was, but it's there, wasn't it? Good to see you back and shit and stuff. The Stingray well. Congratulations.
May I ask a question, please?
Go ahead, Lux. Yeah, before we go, if you want to, quick, couple questions and answers before we get out of here, floor is yours.
It's pretty simple. I was just wondering, in the Daily Boom server, which text channel do you guys use to interact with, to post messages which relate to this voice chat?
The Daily Boom Uncensored is the main one, and then the secondary one will be the nonsense. Is where we get a little bit of drama and bantering and having fun or whatever. But the Daily Boom Uncensored is mostly when we do live stream. Is when we are keeping an eye on to relevant stuff.
Okay, cool, because sometimes maybe it's easier just to type in a sentence rather than try to interrupt, because with the lag it gets complicated and people talk over each other. And just one last remark. I think Brian, I don't believe Brian is lying. I don't think he's a troll. I think he's just very misinformed and not very he doesn't know much. Oh God, the doorbell's ringing. Gotta leave, guys. Thanks. See you next time.
See you next time, brother. Keep up to date. Make sure to have the bell notification icon on when we're live.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yep. Gary C. Final thoughts. You got it, Shike. Got it.
Yeah, I got it. Well, Brian came a bit late and not enough passionate this time to my taste. So, Brian, put more soul into it next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I hope YouTube enjoy the viewing like setup for here today. I had, we're screen sharing and we were switching around. I got my big ugly mug on screen right now. I think it's cool, we can mix it up. I still haven't figured out how to talk using Google Meets and Discord, talking to each other between Discord and Google Meets, because for that I need an external audio mixer setting thing. I don't want to install an external anything extra for audio. I'll find the ways around. We'll get there. Farmers Gotti Boy. Final thoughts.
Yes, I thought that was a very lackluster performance from Brian. Really needed more swearing, more shouting, more nonsense, and more. Oh no, hang on a minute. Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? Don't really know what else to say to it, to be honest, apart from the fact we've heard it 1,000 times before. But yeah, good show, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. We have Steve Rorino. Final thoughts.
Oh, thank you for the entertainment. This is making my week go by much quicker. I'm hoping someday Brian will actually read a little further into the actual explanations of these natural events and not just a few couple sentences that fits his narrative. And that should be a real awakening moment.
Very good, man. Thank you very much. And the Stingray. Final thoughts.
Yeah, sorry, Jose, I had to dip away there for a much more important set of events than indulging the ridiculous nature that is flat Earth. But yeah, just to reiterate, the model that I built is freely available to content creators as long as they don't give it out. And you can position yourself anywhere on the planet with the 96 million mile away sun and position the date approximately what it is and scrub the timeline, and it will show you the path of the sun through your sky at that day, no matter where you are. And it's a model that can create predictions so accurate that you would have to be a lunatic to think that it was not true. That's it. Cheers, Jose.
Cheers, the Stingray. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for all of those that came in and left. But we still got one more here. Left Lane, do you want to pop in and give quick final thoughts? Good to see you, brother. What you got?
Happy New Year. Yes, I had to drop off for a phone call myself. I was just commenting to Brian and he's gone. But, kind of like old Brian for some reason. But, and he's absolute in his position, which means he's absolutely incorrect. Thanks, Jose.
Thank you, Left Lane. And to me, it's absolutely entertaining when he loses his shit. I think you concur. All right, guys. Audience, the audience, YouTube people viewing, there were like 50 people watching earlier. Big success for a small channel like mine. Thank you very much, guys. Let's continue to grow and get more new voices in. You see, today we had Luke's. He's kind of a new voice that is in, and hopefully we hear more from him in a more mellow, wash down show. Hopefully we hear. I want to talk to you, have a chat with you, Luke, soon. And to everybody, just share the show and tell the people where to find us. Let's grow and get a bunch of viewing time. If you guys don't think you're gonna watch the whole thing, but you got an extra cell phone or extra PC, just click on one of the long shows, the 4 or 5 hours, and let it run so we can have the watching time. We need to get to 4,000 hours watch time. I'm like 1,500 hours already. We're getting close to halfway mark, and we are almost in the halfway mark of 1,000 subscribers. The 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours. Not only do we get monetized, but we get a little more stuff like the community tab that we can share better and some other benefits from YouTube. So it's cool to have a small channel, but at least in that sweet spot, 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. Then we'll kick off from there. We'll go back to where we were before. That being said, I want to thank everybody one more time. I appreciate it. Stay safe out there, and we'll do a predictions show before the year ends. And peace. Jose JG out. Boom. Thank you, guys.
Indeed.
What happened to Brian Mabbott? Did he